The beauty of this country is no matter how much you know, what you know, or who you know, as long as you put your head down and work, you will make your dreams come true.
It's very easy to say, oh, my fingers is freezing. Okay, don't give up and continuing to do something.
We went there, both my guys said, I'm not going over there. I have kids. I can't risk my life. I said, well, what the fuck? You told me you can do it. And the beauty of this country is the opportunities will come to you.
Hi everyone, welcome back to Built in Canada. As you know, I am inviting successful business owners and people who is successful in their career, and I am asking questions and I am asking to share their journey that will help you maybe find your right path. So today I invited the guest. He is a creative business owner who created the sign business into big mega business, and he's very successful not only in Canada but all over the North America. Emin, thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me, Levon.
Emin, I'm always starting my first question with everyone about the starting point in Canada. And I know that you moved to Canada in early age. So a couple of words about your, if you remember, I believe you remember that those days everyone remember, doesn't matter about the age. So what, like, your journey, when did you move, from where did you move, and about the first couple of periods that you, like days, years, the feelings being in Canada.
I came to Canada in 1991, but I left Iran, that's where I was born, in 1987. So we had a 3-year journey to get to Canada. Finally got here in 1991, and it was pretty interesting and drastic change for me as a child.
How old you were?
I was 11 years old.
Oh,
11 years old when we came here, going through the public school system. By the time I got to high school, I changed about 4 or 5 different schools from moving from one house to another. So it was pretty interesting and it was challenging for us to get here.
so it was more cultural shock when you moved to Canada, meeting with different people from different cultures. What was the biggest, like, I know that one of the things, so many families moving to Canada, and one of the challenges that they are having with their kids, that they are not accepting, or for them it's difficult to be surrounded like with the people that they don't know or people internationally. Like, this is a challenge that some kids are having. Like, do you remember which kind of challenges did you have, how you won those challenges, like any experience to share?
Honestly, I adapted very quickly to the Canadian culture. I mean, at the beginning, language was a barrier for me, and that was the challenge that I used to have with kids in school. But that quickly changed, and we adapted very quickly to this.
I see. How was your the high school? So it's the same now, you were like more easy.
It was pretty much the same. At high school was an interesting journey as well. It was really challenging to try to keep up with schoolwork and still to run my business at the same time. That's pretty much when I started.
Yeah, that's why I
Yeah.
started about the high school. So I know that, like, starting a business in a sign industry is not something that you were dreaming at the age 11 or 12 whenever you came to Canada and say like, welcome Canada, and I'm going to build a sign business here. So how that idea came, or how you started think
Well,
about that business in the high school?
So the sign business was actually something that my brother took as a co-op program in high school. So that's how we got into it. And slowly, I joined him and we started working together. And my brother got married, so he moved away from the sign business, went into a different business, and I took over that business. And it was just maybe a year or two after I finished high school is that when I started getting into this business. I remember very clearly when we first started. We used to live in an apartment. I used to get sign jobs and go in my apartment in the hallway and make my signs over there middle of the night, and people would come. I would have to move the banners or the signs. So that's how we got started in the business.
I see. So when you are saying the starting as a business, like mostly you were working on your business.
Yeah.
So you were like, how you were getting the clients by that time, or
I mean, at that time, it was just 1 or 2 clients here and there. I would go put stickers on doors. I remember clearly going Yonge Street with my rollerblades and putting stickers on every single door. If they needed sign, if their sign was damaged, I would put a flyer or a sticker on their door and do that almost every night. I would
I
go
see.
on with my rollerblades, roll around downtown Toronto and putting stickers and flyers on doors.
To doors to
Yeah.
get the clients. So I know that it wasn't easy, and especially at that age when you are starting new business, sign business. Like during those challenges, did you have a time where you were thinking, okay, maybe I have to stop this business? It's not right for me. It's better to go to find some job, 9 to 5, somewhere else to do something. Could you share that part and
It's
how you won
it's
that?
funny you bring that up. I remember very clearly I was around 25, 26 years old. I decided to leave the business because I had advice from certain individuals that, oh, business is not for everyone. You can't handle this. It takes a lot. Come work for us. We'll give you a full-time job, a great paid job. You'll make $500 a week. I said, you know what? That's a great job. So it was a junkyard,
Yeah.
an auto wreckers. I'm not a morning person. At least I wasn't then. I had to get up every day at 5 o'clock, 4:30 to be in Hamilton by 6 o'clock in the morning.
Wow. And you were living in
In Scarborough.
Scarborough.
So it was an hour and 20-minute drive for me. It was the middle of winter. I went in there to my first day on the shift. They gave me a clipboard. They said, go outside and do an inventory. I said, but there's 4 feet of snow outside. He's like, so go. Are you scared of getting wet? I said, no, I'll go. I went, came back covered in snow. So a couple of weeks went on. This was the last day I was there. One of the managers came, said, sweep the floor. I turned around, 50,000 square foot shop.
Wow.
I said, the whole thing? He's like, yeah. I said, you want me to sweep the entire place? I said, yeah. I said, okay. So I swept the whole place. I thought I did a great job. He came up to me. He's like, it's no good. Do it again.
Wow.
He was trying to make me a man because it was a family friend, and he was trying to get me to be.
Yeah.
So I swept the shop again.
50,000.
50,000 square feet. I swept it twice. Finished it, did a great job. As soon as I was done, ready to go home, shook his hand and said, thank you very much for this. You taught me a great lesson. It's never to work for anybody ever again. And that was it.
So by that time you stopped running your business, or
Yeah, it was a side hustle. My business was just there. I would get jobs, do it, but when I got the full-time job, I was committed to the
to going every day or
going,
there
yeah.
and coming back? It was like,
Yeah.
then after that you said, okay,
and
done.
that was it.
I don't want to go back.
Yeah.
So what's the start point that you said, okay, I'm going back to sign business, or I'm starting business, or you start to see the big picture of this business and you started like going after your
ever
dream?
since I was a kid, I've always had a dream to be my own boss and to be a businessman, to do something for myself. And that was one of my biggest encouragements, is to have that vision, and I pursued it. So I followed it, even though the first 10 years was really difficult for me. I would make $100, I would spend $500. I would make $100, I would spend $500, and it was tough. Constantly going to work every day and struggling and buying stuff, making mistakes. I didn't have my own equipment, didn't have my own facility. I used to have a cube van that didn't work, that my uncle gave me, and I set up a little shop. We were working inside that cube van, middle of winter. I remember one time my ex-girlfriend was there with me, and she was in the car, in the truck, helping me in the middle of winter. We were trying to peel vinyl. It was freezing, so our fingers were cold. So a lot of challenges like that, and that's.
And based on those challenges, like now, if you will give some advice for someone who is right now in middle of those challenges, what's the best advice that you will give them?
Don't give up.
Don't give
Don't
up.
give up. There's the beauty of this country is, no matter how much you know, what you know, or who you know, as long as you put your head down and work, you will make your dreams come true. There is always possibilities. There's lots of opportunities. There's lots of support. So just don't give up and keep doing what you're doing. If you fail once, keep going at it until you get to where you want.
So now you are saying don't give up. It's more easy to say, but at that time when you were in the middle of struggling, like when you are saying like the freezing fingers, or like you are trying to do something, what was that power that didn't stop you and you didn't give up? I believe there's something like it's very easy to say, oh, my fingers is freezing. Okay, don't give up and continuing to do something. But there is something behind of that don't give up that pushing you even harder. What was that power that helped you to move to the next level?
Honest, for me, it wasn't, whatever happened was just an obstacle. And I figured out a solution how to warm up my hands,
No,
right? I didn't really, for me, giving up wasn't an option. I had no other alternative in life than what I had going at the time. So I just put my head down, figure out a solution. That's where we will move from the van to the apartment, right? Into the hallway, I used to roll up my mother's expensive rugs, put it aside, and use the floor to do my signs because we had to use water. That was it. I just didn't, there was no other alternative in life. I had to do that and I stuck to it. I had a vision and I wanted to achieve that goal. And, right?
And when did you realize that, okay, this is becoming more than just doing at my place or something? Like when you start to realize, okay, this is becoming business and I am like the business owner and I have to treat this a different way. So when did you have that feeling and start to treat it differently?
I had that feeling when I leased my first unit, commercial unit. And it was a really challenging moment for me. It was tough. I was by myself. My brother was no longer with me at the time. And I talked to my dad and said, Dad, what do I do? And yeah, that was a time where I said, you know what, do it. I'll be behind you. I'll support you all the way. And at the time he was working as a welder and he quit his job to come and help me grow the business. And that's where it started. We had a little unit and we met a few people along the way that really helped us, guided us the right direction. And that's where it started.
Started to run it as a business.
Yeah.
And when it's becoming more business, definitely you are having people who is working for you. It's more responsibility now. So is instead of just putting flyers door to door, now you have to run a bigger business and to get the bigger clients. So where you, like how you start to run you did marketing, how you start to involve real big clients, because now you have other kind of business.
So at the beginning, it was just me and my dad and one employee. We would build the signs during the day. I would go at nighttime and install the signs. So we started doing that. And then this is all retail signage. After being in the business about 6-7 years, we transitioned to a wholesale sign manufacturing. And that's when we started doing marketing. We did a lot of trade shows all over Canada. We did Vancouver, went to Las Vegas, Orlando. We did all the sign shows across North America. And that's how we started getting more clientele and building our business.
Yeah, you mentioned that you have clients all over. It's not only from Canada, but you have clients out of Canada as well. So this is one of the ways that you even move out from Canada to being in different kind of those shows to find the clients.
Yeah,
and as again, it's where is the part where it didn't, like you didn't stop, like you thought, okay, you have now business in Canada, you are in Canada, business in Canada, it's good, definitely you are making more money than other people's, but like I want to understand that point that you didn't stop and you start to go after even out of Canada market. So that kind of is a dream, like what's the pushing, again, the power, you have something behind is it mindset, like why you decided to go bigger?
Because my vision in my business always was to be the leader in channel letter manufacturing, in wholesale signage. Pretty soon, within a couple of years, I discovered that, hey, we're very close to that goal. So why not expand and go to the States and try to have a piece of the American market as well? Which we tried. It was really challenging with the customs and export import, and the Canadian market got really busy. So we were getting a lot of orders in, and we kind of branched away from the U.S. So we don't do a lot of work with them anymore. It's because the work we hear that we have is, for us, it's adequate.
I see.
Yeah.
So now let's talk about the business owner. Now you build a big business. Which kind of challenges did you have, or like, can you remember I would say, like interesting, or the challenge that you had and you won that you can share and it will inspire people who is now listening and watching us?
That's a really interesting question you asked me. For me, as a challenge in business was always backing my word. I'm a type of a person where whatever they need, I say yes,
Oh,
right? And I'll never forget, we got this big order. It was for a big coffee chain in Canada. They called me, they said, we need 100 stores made. How quickly can you make it? I said, I'll make 5 a week. They're like, you're going to make 1 store a day? I said, yeah. He goes, if you can make 1 store a day, we'll take 300 stores from you. I said, okay, done. So we got the order, and we had a meeting with our staff, and the guys are, are you crazy? What's wrong with you? We can't do this. I said, yeah, we can. Why not? We don't have the equipment. I said, I already ordered the equipment. So I already doubled whatever capacity we had equipment-wise, ordered all new equipment, paid for express shipping, and that's $500,000 worth of equipment. Arrived to our door, said, now we have equipment. We started producing. We really tried hard the first week or so, and we were only building 1 a week. So it was like, okay, this is challenge. That was the
yeah.
challenge. So we had to restructure our business and figure out alternative ways of doing what we were doing to make it faster. It got to a point where we were actually doing 15 sets a week of letters, and we ended up doing over 12 to 1,500 locations in Canada. The company that gave us the job, they had 150, 200 employees, where we only had about 30 employees. They were able to do 2 a week. We were doing 15 sets a week.
Wow.
So those are the kind of challenges we faced, and we had to kind of figure out alternatives, even though all my team was always saying, no, we can't do it, we can't do it. But I had this vision in my head, whereas if it's been done before, we can do it. There's no way why we can't do it. So those are the kind of challenges I've always faced, trying to
So
get.
you are that kind of person that I will not like you like to accept a challenge and to
Yeah.
take a challenge and then start to think how to win. Because
Exactly.
one of the problems for business owners or why they are not getting their result, that they are starting to overthink even before they will start.
Exactly. Yeah.
So that's what I understand. You are starting, then starting to figure out the problems how.
Yeah, but so there's another thing like that is when I was first starting off, there's a gentleman named Van Lepoyan. He was a really successful Armenian builder. He built this twin towers in Markham and Lawrence area, and he had this big, gigantic lightning tower on top of the building he wanted to install. He had another company build it, but nobody could install it. At the time, I was 23, 24 years old. He said, Emin, find me an installer. I said, Van, I'll install. He goes, give me a break. Find someone. I kept insisting. He's like, you can't do it. I said, listen, Van, I want $25,000 to install these things. If I don't install it, I'll give you $25,000.
Wow. What a commitment.
And he goes, are you sure? I said, give me 1 day. I went with 2 of my guys on site. I said, guys, can we do it? They're like, yes. So we ordered swing stages. We had to rappel off the building to install the signs. We went there. Both my guys said, I'm not going over there. I have kids. I can't risk my life. I said, well, what the fuck? You told me you can do it. Oh, no, I can't. So I ended up calling 2 other people. We got this thing installed, and it was like one of the proudest moments of my life to get that, install this thing on top of a building where almost all the sign companies rejected it. And here I was with one DeWalt drill. That's all I had, and some rental equipment, and we got it done.
Yeah, I like that thinking that you don't scare about the challenges.
Yeah.
I think that's one of the things where failure of the business owners coming when they're scaring the challenge that they are, even they didn't start the business, they didn't start to do something, but they already start to scare. And when you mentioned about the first 10 years that you are spending more than you are getting, it means that you are reinvesting in the business more. I think this is one of the rules of the business. And this is one of the things that some business owners, again, they were stopping. So as a advise or inspiring someone who is new in Canada, they have some kind of vision, they have a dream, it's a business or in their career. So what's the biggest advice? Again, you say that never give up, but like it's except that never give up. Again, it's very easy to say never give up, but I believe behind of that never give up, there is something else exists. It's easy to say never give up, but there is something exists behind of never give up. So what would you suggest them? Like to have a vision, like
have a dream, like
dream,
desire. Think about desire. Close your eyes and picture yourself in the position you want to be in. And the beauty of this country is the opportunities will come to you. There's a lot of different. There's a lot of different programs that you can take advantage of. Being in Canada, being in Ontario, there's a lot of help and assistance from the government. So if you need something, just vision and dream about it, and everything will come into place. That's the best advice I can give.
Yeah, this is very interesting because even before you were mentioning so many times that advantage of being in Canada, and there is so many support. So and some of them they were saying, oh, this is Canada, that's why it's very difficult to run a business. But from your point of view, this is Canada, that's why it's more easy to run a business. So where you see, like, how you see the advantage running a business in Canada, like which kind of advantages do you see, and like to share with the people that they are saying that this is disadvantage running a business in Canada?
I mean, there's always people that in my point of view are negative. They have negative energy. They always blame this, blame that. It's a great place to be. Canada is a great place to be. The opportunities are endless. There is support from the government. Like if you need some sort of like a
Support?
training or
Oh,
seminars, there's a lot of different opportunities you can take advantage of, and it's just to me it's an easy place to make money.
Oh,
It's I can't really relate to back home, and like if I was right now going back to Armenia, I don't think I could never excel in business in Armenia, is because the mentality there is different than what I am used to here.
see.
Here is it's easier for me here.
I can understand.
So that's
So what's your next level? Where, like, which kind of vision you have? Where you want to take your business to the next level?
honestly, I'm to a point where right now, if I can maintain what I have and spend more time with my family, I'm happy with it. So I'm to a point where I was when I was younger. I wanted to go excel and get busier, but all that takes time and effort, which I'm to a point where I have 3 small children, and I want to see them more.
Nice.
So I had a conversation with my daughter. She's 4 years old. I said, what would you like to change in your life? And she goes, the only thing I'd like to change is for you to be home every day.
Wow.
I said, but I am home every day. He goes, no, all day. I said, but baby,
Yeah.
you go to school, you're off at school. I can't leave school and come be with you. So I try my best to be home every day at 5:30 the latest, and spend time with them. Any more effort at work would make me not,
Nice.
would make me see
Cut
them
from the
less.
family.
And not even if I'm there, but my mindset would be to be at work and to be stressed out. I don't want that.
But I know you are very involved in your business.
Yeah,
Like a couple of times I came and I saw like you are like one of them, and you are always in a production. You are like-
My daughter, my middle child, she's 7 years old. She came to me one day and goes, Dad, who's the boss of your business? I said, I am. Really proud. He goes, no, you're not. I said, who do you think you are? He goes, Omar, the gentleman that sits in the office. I said, why would you say that? He goes, because he's always clean, dressed, and you're always so dirty, your clothes are ripped. So he's the boss. I said, no, that's because I'm involved in my work. I get down and dirty and I do the work. So it was shocking for her to know that I was the boss.
Yeah. So I've been, it's the same like when I saw you, like I said, who are you working for here?
Yeah.
So how you like think how it's important to be involved in that level in a business? It's a type of business, that's why you are
honestly,
involved that much, or you like you want to be involved?
That's who I am, right? I don't think it's the best thing to be involved that much. It's much better to be less involved in the actual physical work and then to stand from outside and look into it. But that's my passion. I love getting there, and I can't stand when I watch somebody do something wrong. I can't stand them doing it like that because it bothers me. I want to get in there and do it myself. So, and that's just who I am. I've always been hands-on. I've always wanted to try doing things myself. I remember when I was a kid, we had a TV. I don't know what was wrong with it. I said, you know what? I'm going to fix this TV. I opened it up and I ruined it because I was trying to fix it. I don't know what I was trying to do. So I've always been hands-on, and that's why at work I'm always there. I'm always in the action.
I see. So now your long-term goal is more to business to maintain
To maintain the
and
business,
to spend more
yeah.
time with family.
To spend more time with family and maintain what we have. And we have a very good client base, and to try to attend to them and give them the best possible service we can do, and just take it from there. We can always take on more work, but we want to be able to do it efficiently.
Yeah. So you are in a wholesale business. It means that like marketing companies mostly they are ordering you business. It's not the.
So yeah, we sell to anybody that resells the sign. So there's a lot of sign companies, marketing companies, advertising companies. Most of our customers don't have the manufacturing facilities, so they get the jobs, they design it, send it to us, we build it. Or there's a lot of the sign companies out there that give us all their overflow work, the work that they can't handle, that they don't have means to do. They give it to us. We strictly manufacture.
Yeah, it's a really interesting business that you are even is not like not the first phase with the clients, but you are serving marketing
Doing
companies
the
that
thing,
are the wholesales.
Yeah.
I mean, thank you very much for coming.
My pleasure.
It's really interesting, and we had these conversations before, like not front of the cameras, but today we're having front of the camera. I want to ask everyone who watch and please subscribe, share this information with people that they will need this support. I believe this kind of information will help them to make a next step and to make decision to run their own business. So Emin is a good example. If you need any more information or maybe like mentor, I believe Emin is always open to answer more questions. Thank you for watching. Don't forget subscribe and stay with Built in Canada. Thank you. Have a good day.